Welcome back to another installment of the O&J podcast. I'm your co-host, Jeremiah.
I'm your co-host, Orlando.
Hope everyone had a great past couple weeks. There weren't no holidays, coming up. So that happened in the past 2 weeks. So we just hope everybody, had a great past couple weeks.
Shout out to everybody who started college, school again.
For sure.
The struggle's back on.
Not just college, high school, middle school, elementary school, trade school, all that stuff. You know what I mean? Shout out to all y'all.
Pre-K, kindergarten, everything.
So this episode is going to be a first. So we try to change things up, every now and then. And we wanted to just do something new. So we're going to start doing guest host where we have friends of podcasts, you could say.
When did we start this? I didn't get the memo.
Okay. Well, sorry, I just came up with it, and then I just asked them, and I knew you'd be along with it. I mean, you're here.
You caught me off.
You're here. So I'm assuming that you're cool with it.
I'm always here, ready, on time, prepared. I don't have the notes like you do, but I'm just saying.
Yo, are you exposing my stilo? All right. But so we're gonna start doing guest hosts, and our first guest host, well, not guest host, guest co-host is 10-time NBA All-Star, 2-time MVP, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, Joshua Kinsey. Welcome, my brother.
Sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys for having me, man. I'm glad I was the first big Draco of this show. You dig? I was the first to be on the OJ podcast. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to the world. Shout out to all the viewers, man. Appreciate y'all for having me. Ready to have fun with y'all and rock out on this show.
Of course. So let's start off with something so favorite team and then favorite player. So player could be of all time or it could be current. Either or. It's your pick.
So you said favorite team and favorite player?
Well, I don't even got to ask you your favorite team. I mean, you're wearing it right now. But
favorite team, obviously, Boston Celtics, die hard. You know what I mean? As far as favorite players, that's a good question. Because I have a couple, but just for the show's sake, I'm gonna go and say that my favorite player of all time is White Mamba. Brian Scalabrine. You know what I mean?
Brian Scalabrine.
You know what I'm saying?
Brian Scalabrine.
The GOAT.
What makes him special, in your opinion?
There's no one like him. You know what I mean?
That's facts.
There's no one like him. His game is unique.
That's it.
This man gave you buckets every night. You know what I'm saying?
Brian Scalabrine, the
GOAT. Bigs of all time. You don't get the dub White Mamba for no reason. You hear me?
That's facts. All right. So Brian Scalabrine, Joshua Kinsey's favorite player. All right. You heard it here first. What we got first, Orlando?
First, in the world of the NBA, us, we like Bobo. When Bobo got drafted, we couldn't believe he fell all the way down to the second round.
Yes, sir.
We thought he was a guaranteed lottery pick.
Yes, sir.
And then he fell to the Nuggets. And he got absolutely no playing time at all. So then magically, we found out he got traded. Bobo got traded to the Pistons for Rodney Magruder and a second round pick. I think it was the Nets second round pick. We thought, my God, Bobo, he's going to get an opportunity. He's actually going to play. 2 days later, they vetoed the whole entire trade.
Damn it.
Ooh.
Apparently, he failed his physical. How do y'all feel about that?
Well, I would say, I thought the tweets that they were saying, I seen some tweets in response to that, and I thought they were hilarious how he was sitting on the bench so long that he was so stiff. So there was no way that he was gonna pass that physical because he was so stiff from all that sitting on the bench. But I was actually excited for this trade. I thought hey, this will finally be the chance for NBA fans to see what he could do. And like, if he sucked with the Pistons, then okay, so be it. So then we know like what it would have been like, to see him get some consistent playing time. But for us to not be able to still not get a chance to see him at his full potential, it kind of sucks. But hopefully maybe the Nuggets find another trade partner. Maybe he could get some G League time and remove some of that stiffness, or but I was excited though.
Yeah, to touch on your point, man, I'm very disappointed. I'm a big Bobo fan, man. It's very unfortunate. I wanted to see him in Detroit because just like Bo, the Pistons are in the development stage, and it would have been great to see him on the floor with Sadiq, Cade Cunningham, Jeremy Grant, just seeing all those guys on the floor, and actually seeing Bo actually get more minutes would have been dope because, like you said, he has a lot to offer. He's a big, he can stretch the floor. He could be a potential, like, really exciting player to watch. And like with Denver, he gets 5 minutes a game, barely any playing time, you know what I'm saying? And he just came in at the wrong time, I think, because he was brought on in Denver, when they were developing their raw young talent. And now Denver has transitioned to the point where they're trying to contend, and they're not really focusing on developing those players. So people like Bo get left in the wind. So when I heard that, he was going to get moved to Detroit, I was like super hyped. But to see that it fell through is very disappointing. Not really sure how the future is going to look for him moving forward because, like I felt, me personally, Detroit was going to be like the best fit for him.
Right.
But we'll see how it unfolds. Like you said, I hope they find another trading partner for him because Bo has a whole lot of potential to be a real great player in the league.
True.
So now, what do y'all think? What do y'all think really happened that made him fail his physical? Because think about it, the Pistons traded Magruder in a second-round pick who wasn't even theirs. So they basically getting Bobo for free because they really ain't losing any value. Right. They're taking a chance. What has to go through a GM's mind to be like, I'm not losing anything, but I still don't want this player?
I think it had. That's a great question. I mean, so many things could go into play. I think it was just the lack. Probably his body wasn't ready. It has to be because he's already super skinny, for an NBA player. And like, yes, he's agile and all that good stuff, but like health-wise, the way that he plays, like it seems like if you like watching him play, like he's an injury waiting to happen, with how skinny he is and the lack of muscle definition and stuff. So I would say maybe it was just, the risk of, even like you said, even though it was a pick that, that wasn't theirs, and, he was, and Rodney McGruger, maybe they just, didn't want to pass him because maybe they just felt that long term, maybe his body wouldn't hold up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to piggyback off that, I think personally, I don't think it was something. I think they worded that wrong. They put that story out wrong. I don't necessarily think they saw something on the physical. I just think, like you said, like longevity. You know what I mean? He's super skinny, very fragile. You know what I mean? Like he's the type that, like, one bad move, one bad bump with a big man could like be catastrophic. You know what I mean? Nope, he doesn't really have that much muscle tone. So I feel like it was more so like he doesn't have like you said, his body's not NBA ready to like compete for 38 minutes. You know what I mean? So that was more, I feel like that's more so the reason why they didn't, follow through with him.
And to think about it, like his dad, Manutbo, who was an amazing shot blocker and, amazing player, he only got to play 10 seasons. And Bobo's in I want to say third. Is it his third season?
Oh,
yeah, it's his third season. So his dad played 10 seasons, and Bobo hasn't barely gotten any consistent playing time, or he didn't get as much playing time as his dad early in his career. So to see that's got to be kind of scary too, because your dad only played 10 seasons, and it's pretty much like mostly the same genetics. Y'all look the same, you have the same build and everything. So maybe it's like, it's giving them like 7 more seasons to probably play, if at most. So maybe they saw like the piggyback back earlier, like maybe it was just a long-term, decision to where there's nothing we could do with him.
Yeah, I see that. I kind of agree with it. When I kind of looked at it, I thought it was he's such a unicorn that there's not necessarily like a blueprint on how to guide him and his health. Because the man's like over 6 foot, over 7 foot, my bad. He's so skinny. The only 7 foot player out there who, is still skinny and still doing amazing. It's like KD.
Right.
And KD's himself, he's also a unicorn. There's not necessarily a blueprint on how to guide Bobo and how to utilize his skill set.
KD could bench 4 plates though, or was it 3 plates? I forgot. It was either 3 or 4 plates. I seen him do it.
He doesn't look like it, boy.
I seen him do it. I seen him do it, bro. Saw him do it. But to piggyback off what you just said with the his health, and he's a unicorn as to where like you don't see too many players like him body wise and skill wise. Are we talking about a Zion Williamson type of situation? Are we? Are we though? Look at how the Pelicans are struggling with Zion and his health, how big he is, how athletic he is. Like Orlando just said, you never seen a guy like Bobo, 7 feet, could dribble, but super skinny. And he just said like the only successful players in the league that's skinny that he could think of, that I could think of as well off the top of my head, is KD. So it's like, are we dealing with a Zion Williamson type of situation to where, even the trainers don't know what we'll be able to do with this guy because he's so skinny. Like, how will we add muscle to him? Like, just because it's only so much you can add on. The body wants you to add on regarding muscle and weight, so that he could play off healthily, like healthy wise. So, I mean, are we looking at a Zion situation?
I feel like we definitely are looking at a Zion situation, but you gotta look at it like this too. If Denver wanted to invest that time and that effort, those resources into building up Bol's body to make it like, and make him NBA ready, like run on the floor and compete for 38 minutes, they will do it. But they don't. They're not, because they don't want to. I feel like the Detroit move was simply like on some like, look, your talent's being wasted here. We like you. We want you to succeed. So we're going to try to get you to a team where they can actually utilize you. So as long as he's in Denver, he's going to just be what he is. There's not going to be any, we're going to put you on this plan to try to build you some muscle. We're going to work on your footwork. He's just going to be riding the bench until something happens. And if he's still on the Denver Nuggets at the end of the season, because isn't he a free agent next year? Or
yeah, he's I believe restricted. Yeah, I think he's restricted after this year.
I think it's coming close to an end for him, man. If something does, that's my take on it.
Y'all think somebody gives him a contract?
Somebody will probably give him a 2-way.
Okay.
I don't know about a full contract. I think somebody will give him a 2-way.
Yeah.
I mean, going off of what you said, is this a Zion situation? I think the big difference is, first of all, Zion played a full entire season.
That's true.
And in that one season, he averaged like 27 points.
Okay.
So it's like Zion's a player that, yeah, he's a unicorn and you don't know how to deal with his health, but you're willing to put every single resource that you have into maintaining his body. And like Josh just said, the Nuggets weren't willing to put all those resources into Bobo. And I think that's the big difference, because they don't understand what Bobo could be, but you know what Zion could be already.
All right. Yeah. You haven't given us a chance to see what he could be like as a starter or even as a rotation player. So we would have got that chance in Detroit to see, because their front court isn't really that solidified yet. I mean, Grant's out right now. So you got Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart, and then Olynyk's out right now. So that's a lot of potential playing time for Bobo. So then you got a team like Denver. I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, you're not going to play Bobo over Jokic. That's just not going to happen. So it's gonna be tough for him if he stays with Denver and they don't find another trading partner. It's gonna be tough for him to even find playing time.
That's true. Yeah, I agree. But so of course he's not playing over Jokic.
Right.
But I find it interesting how the Nuggets are always looking for a backup center. I think they recently just signed Cousins to be that backup center.
They did,
when they have Bobo right there on the bench, and they didn't actually want to do anything with him.
That's what I mean. It's just it doesn't make sense to me.
These are all future, man. This is all I'm telling you. Like, these moves and things like that are just telling you like where Bobo stands as far as like how they value him and where he is on their, as far as on their priority list. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like, it's coming to an end with his time in Denver.
For sure. Yeah, we'll see.
So the Pistons aren't going to trade for him.
Mm.
Do you potentially see any other team trading for him, or do you just see him going straight to free agency?
Great question. I mean, you see any Celtics? You think the Celtics can use?
Look, we got rid of Taco Fall. We're not signing Bolt. Okay? So it's literally
I
two
think
of
that
the
is a very slightly racist comment. But
better.
I'll let it slide. I
Like
think
the
that
same.
comment was slightly racist. That was slightly racist. But I mean, hey, I'll take him in OKC. You know what I mean? We could use a big man right now, a potential big man. So just to see what he does, because we're rebuilding right now. So
Not really.
I could see us training for him. You know, I'm sure we got a second round pick to give away. You know.
Oh, trust me, you got plenty. Plenty.
Hey, bro, Sam Prest's the best GM in the league right now, bro. You know what I mean?
You got a little diction, like I always say.
You know what I mean? Best GM in the league. Yeah.
All right.
Shout out Bobo though. I hope he get some playing time, whether it's in Denver or whatever, because I want to see what he can do.
Now, from one veto trade to another trade that didn't get vetoed, and in my eyes was a complete fleek of another team, Cam Reddish got traded. The Hawks got Kevin Knox and a 2022 first-round pick. The Knicks get Cam Reddish, Solomon Hill, and a 2025 second-round pick. Oh, let me add that first-round pick that went to the Hawks.
Mhm.
It's not even the Knicks pick. I think it's the Chargers pick, and it's top 18 protected.
Top 18 protected.
So,
my
like,
Lord, my God.
Yeah.
So that's what like top. So that's what like. So if Charlotte finishes like what top, what they lose the pick? Would you say like top 5 maybe or top?
If the pick ends up in the top 18, then the
Right.
Hornets keep it.
But like, where do you think they will have to finish within the Eastern Conference? Like, what's the lowest you think they would have to finish in order to keep that pick? Like, you think like 10, 11, 9
Make
range?
the playoffs.
So if they make the playoffs, they won't keep the pick.
If they make the playoffs, if they make the lower end of the playoffs, they keep it.
Right. Okay.
So like 8th,
Yeah.
7th,
Okay.
or any lottery.
That's doable. But I think great trade for both teams, you know. I think, you know, shout out Kevin Knox, you know what I mean? Florida boy, you know what I mean? Putting on for Florida. You know what I mean? All that good stuff, you know. Yeah. I gotta shout out the Florida boys. I think you're going in and out. Say something. You're going in and out. Say something.
Now,
Wait.
Hold on.
Wait. All
Am
right.
I good?
Say something.
Something test. You hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you now. I don't know why it goes in and out.
All right. Let's make sure everything's straight on my end. All right. Yeah, we should be good.
All right, bet. Shout out Kevin Knox, you know what I mean? Florida boy, you know what I mean? Putting on for Florida, you know. I think he's probably got to be one of the greatest players to ever come out of the state of Florida, you know what I mean? You know, he's a legend, you know what I mean? And the things he's been doing with the Knicks, you know, and what he did at bench, what he's been doing at, can you chill? Can you just chill the negativity for a second?
Warming the peak, my boy.
Sunday is like a couple of days away. You gotta relax, bro. You gotta bring some positivity, you know, into the end of the week. All right. You know, Sunday's tomorrow. All right. So you gotta relax. But I think, you know, Kevin Knox, Florida boy, you know what I mean? I just love shouting out Florida players. You know, we'll talk about another Florida player later in the podcast, but I think, you know, it's a great trade for the Knicks. You know, we get to see, you know, I wish I could have seen for Bobo, but like we get to see Cam Reddish get some legitimate playing time. You know what I mean? I see a few players on that Knicks team that Cam Reddish could you know, get some playing time over. So I'm happy to see what he does, especially on a big stage. He seems like a player who likes the big stage too. You know, watching him in Duke and, you know, in high school and everything, he seems like he's made for that moment. And it doesn't get bigger than, you know, Madison Square Garden, you know, playing there every night. Well, not every night, but like, you know, having home games there, you know, I'll get to see what he's truly made of. And, you know, he gets to play with his college teammate and RJ Barrett, you know, so there's that relationship. So that I'm sure they're excited to, you know, be playing with each other, you know, back again. But I think it's a great trade for the Knicks. And can't wait to see a Florida boy. Kevin Knox. Can't wait to see what he do in the Hawks. You know what I mean? ATL got a good one, boy. They got a good one, boy.
But yeah, this Cam Reddish trade, man. I love this trade. The Knicks really came up on this one. Cam and RJ getting to come back together just to set the floor for Zion to make his appearance back in New York. You know what I'm saying? They're setting this up. I've been telling people this up. Zion doesn't want to be in New Orleans. He wants to go to New York. And this was before they made this trade. So this is the reunion for the big three, which we know what I'm gonna say that for later. But but no, I like Cam Reddish fitting in with Tom Thibodeau's system over there in New York. A lot of young guys, young bulls, they got him, and then the 2025 pick as well. So like the direction that New York's taking as far as adding those pieces. Like I said, I feel like Cam will be a good compliment to people like RJ, Julius, guys like that. I feel like New York, Atlanta lost out on a true gem. I understand, he was hurt. Things happen, it was a business, but at the end of the day, I feel like if they would have waited a little bit longer, Cam would have really been able to show what he can do moving forward. But like I said, I feel like New York's the winner in this.
For sure.
Josh, you sure you're not a low-key Knicks fan? You sounding like these Knicks fans that are like, we getting Zion.
No, I'm telling you, bro. I ain't no fan. First of all, don't ever disrespect it like that. And shout out to New York. They're finally doing their thing, you know what I mean? But I'm never going against the gang, you feel me? So I'm just saying what the people already know. There's been speculation and rumors, Zion's not happy and he wants to go to New York. And then all of a sudden, Cam Reddish is getting traded to New York, where RJ's at. So, like I said, when you see that breaking news alert, you heard it here first.
That's crazy.
I've heard it from every Knicks fan ever since Zion was in high school. But Cam going to the Knicks, I think that's great. I definitely think he's gonna beat out a few people there and get playing time.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that comes to mind is Evan Fournier, because I remember looking at some Knicks games and then Tom Thibodeau just yelling at Evan Fournier to get on the bench because he missed a play on defense or something. So you see, he's probably gonna beat Evan Fournier on that. And he's gonna get opportunities. The chemistry's already there with RJ, so I think he's gonna flourish there. The Hawks, I don't know what's going through their heads. It was obvious. I don't remember if it was regular season or in the playoffs where I think Trae Young was injured and they just kept feeding Cam Reddish, and the man got bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket. And then in the Hawks mind, it's like, he's not worth it. We'll get a heavily protected first round pick for him. What goes through your head when you see a player get buckets? You think a late first round pick is better than him? Come on now.
That's crazy. You mentioned Evan Fournier to a Boston Celtics fan. I ain't gonna lie, that man's been looking like the second coming of Mike, bro, when he plays against y'all, bro. I swear.
Yo, we're not gonna go to those fluke games that Evan Fournier be having. You know what I'm saying? Evan Fournier, for some reason, he decides he wants to eat his Wheaties before he plays the Celtics. Go nuts. But every other game in the season, he wants to play like the scrub that he is. So that's all I have to say about it.
Eat his Wheaties, bro.
He drinks that Space Jam water, you know what I mean? He just goes nuts, for no reason. He has this vendetta against Boston, I guess because we cut him or whatever, because he couldn't, handle his business and, hold up that Celtic name with his game, So, but shout out to you, Evan. Real talk. I hope you listen. Shout out to you, bro. We would love to.
Oh, my gosh. Yo, that's ledge. But, yeah, I agree though. I think Cam's gonna, do some work. Him and RJ. I don't know about Zion. I don't know about the Zion part, but him and RJ. Hey, when you think about it though, if it's a fan base that can motivate Zion to get his weight in order, it's got to be New York. They could get it. They could get it out of him. You know what I mean? So,
bing bong.
Hey, yo. Oh, but great trade for the Knicks, though. And, Hawks, they get that Florida boy. That boy from Florida.
What a boy.
I mean, one of the best players to come out of Florida. You know,
Yo, man.
Kevin.
Good
Yes,
luck.
sir. You know what?
Good luck to Kevin Knox.
Good luck, man. Florida boy.
They should trade him to OKC.
He's putting off yo, relax. He wouldn't be that close to Florida, bro.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I mean? What's wrong with you? You want him to be homesick for the rest of his life?
I just want you to, you know, be cheering for your favorite player on your favorite team.
You right. I feel that. I don't know about favorite player, but you know,
Florida boy.
Florida boy. Yeah, he's a Florida boy. You know what I mean? Gotta love Florida boys. Gotta support. You know,
we gotta turn that into a song. It's not no more. I'm an England boy. I'm a Florida boy.
Florida boy, trying to make it.
Hey,
Florida boy.
Hey, say it for the mixtape. Say it for the mixtape.
they technically didn't make that into an official song yet, so it's still kind of free game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We can do it.
Nobody take our idea, please. I give 50% of the royalties.
Oh, 50%. It's a lot.
50% of nothing.
All right. Next topic. Klay Thompson.
Yes, sir.
That.
Yes.
Been waiting for this. Yes.
Come on. I know you're excited. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
Well, no. Klay Thompson's back. That's all I have to say. It needs no introduction. Klay Thompson is back.
That technically was an introduction, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. The greatest shooter of all time is back in action. Oh my gosh. I just, you know. Oh man, that intro, watching that game live, you know, that intro, what was it? It was against Cavaliers, yeah. Came back against the Cavs. You know. I mean, of course, you know, he didn't shoot as well as he probably wanted to. But I mean, he made the first bucket of the game. You know, it doesn't get no better than that. And then for your team to set up the first play for you, you know what I mean? That just takes the ultimate confidence that they have in him, you know, in the work that he's put in the rehab. And then for him to put in all that work, I don't know how many days they said, like 600 days or
941 days.
Yeah, 941 days. It's like 3 decades. Like it's just great to see him back. You know, it's great to see the GOAT shooter of all time back. And I was just happy to see him.
Before I give my take, I want to ask y'all. First of all, before I say anything, I don't want to come off as being disrespectful. You know what I mean? Long live the Mamba. But that night, like, gave me real Kobe's last game vibes. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like there was a lot of circulation around that game. I for Klay to come back for the longest. That same energy, like, well, not the same energy, but it's close. Like that last game that Kobe played, like everybody was tuned in. Everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the last time you're gonna see him." But like with Klay, it was like, "Yo, we haven't seen him in forever." You know, everybody knows what's his story, what he's been through, and like for him to come back, like it was a real emotional night for a lot of people, man. Watching that intro almost made me cry them thug tears, man. Freaking when he hit that first shot of the game, man. Come on, he hit the first. You can't even write that out. Like, and then no, they didn't give him the bucket. He got that bucket. You know what I'm saying? Sir. Yammed it. Like I said, to touch on your point, honestly, I wasn't really expecting him to come out first night and drop 40. But he still has to get his get back acclimated because yes, he has been running rec games and like getting himself on the 5v5s and things like that. But it's gonna take some time. But just seeing him back on the floor was real exuberant. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do moving forward in the rest of the season, and I'm just glad to have him back, man.
Klay is back. Can announce it one more time, for the people in the back. Klay is back. It's an exciting moment for every basketball fan out there to have Klay back, have the duo of Curry and Klay back, the greatest shooting duo in the NBA in the world.
Great.
You guys already touched on that introduction, very emotional. And even as soon as Klay stepped in that game and he got that first bucket, very emotional. I specifically remember at one point, we know Klay, he's a great shooter, but at one point in the game, the man did such an amazing dunk. And someone getting off the injury and then just going straight into a dunk. Wow. And you saw he was back. Like he had no fear of getting re-injured or anything. Klay Thompson was back at that point.
He's back. The man is back. The GOAT shooter is back. Great shooter of all time. He is back.
Okay, here you go.
This
This
is
great.
great. This is great. It's great to see. Hey, man, don't talk to me, bro. Don't talk to me, bro. All right, because you just compared Klay Thompson's game back to Kobe Bryant. Okay, to Kobe's last game, bro. You know you're gonna get the same amount of backlash we got for the Aisha Curry got.
Look,
DM, okay.
Controversy brings money. You know what I'm saying? There's no, you dig what I'm saying? So
No,
first,
you outside. You on the outside looking in.
What'd you say?
You on the outside looking in. How'd you feel about our last snippet?
I honestly didn't feel any kind of way about it. Like I told you off the record, like we're living in a very sensitive time. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's like super like sensitive about everything. You know what I mean? And like I said, I didn't really feel no type of way about it, but you know.
Okay.
First of all, I just want to say, I feel like people overlook the part where I said, with all due respect. I feel people just completely skipped over that part and went to the rest, but you know.
Respectfully, bro. He said respectfully. Like, come on now. Y'all quit the.
If the rumors were true, you know, with my all due respect,
they quit the jump to the BS.
It's super disrespectful, but then try to say like respectfully in front of it. It kind of doesn't matter. Like it's like respectfully, fuck your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
I need you to speak with my mentor, Mark Jackson. He's the one who gave me that quote.
My mentor.
Oh.
Yo, that's wild.
Hey, yo.
All right. Let's get back on track. All right.
Klay Thompson.
Yes. He's back. The GOAT shooter's back. You know, the NBA's missed him. The game's missed him. You know, even Draymond missed him. You know, Draymond didn't even play the game. Like, he literally just played for the tip-off just so he could be in the lineup with Klay for his first game back. So, you know, everybody was excited. Not only the fans were excited, but, you know, you can see that his teammates and fellow players are excited as well. It's a great comeback.
Great comeback. I also think if you saw the post-game interview, he went there. They gave him the stat sheet. He looked at it. He saw that he had 18 shots, and he was like, "Yep, makes sense. Klay Thompson. That seems about right."
Yes, sir. Shout out to all the people who's gonna pick him up on fantasy now that he's back too. For sure.
He's also doing this on only 20 minutes.
People not realizing that, bro.
Yeah, he's only playing 20 minutes. Imagine when there's no minute restriction on that, man.
It's over. That'll probably be around playoff time.
Yeah.
I can only imagine like around end of the season when playoffs about to start. Oh, if he continues to, you know, keep it up, knock on wood, it'll be good.
The Warriors are a scary team.
Very scary.
Very scary.
Very scary. They looking like
are we gonna see the Warriors
dynasty type? Huh?
Are we gonna see the Warriors back in the finals this year?
Oh
yes. I believe so.
I mean, in the West, I don't see why not. Now, if we get past the bubble first round, if OKC gets past the bubble first round, I think we could give them a run for their money.
Bro,
but
let me just say this: it's called a play-in, not the bubble. I know you get it mixed up with the bubble because the bubble was the last time y'all made the playoffs. I see the confusion there, but it's called the play-in.
It's all right. Next topic. Fucking asshole, bro.
All right, next topic. From one return to another return, Kyrie Irving, the part-time player, is back because he's a part-time player now, but he's back.
Yeah, sure.
That's disrespectful.
Did you say that part-time part's disrespectful?
So disrespectful, bro.
I mean, I'm just stating the facts.
Hey, that's what it is.
I'm just here, you know, don't get mad at the messenger. I'm just here delivering the message. He's only playing away games.
So he came back against the Pacers. And I mean, and for a guy who hasn't played no games all season, for them to rush him out there and play 32 minutes, that's got to say a lot about Kyrie and, you know, and also Steve Nash and the coaching staff and how much trust they have in him. I mean, because that means that, Kyrie himself was, putting in the work that he needed to while he was off at home, or, while he wasn't playing in the games. So, you gotta give respect to Kyrie for, making sure his body was ready, making sure staying ready so he wouldn't have to get ready. So, and it showed, he dropped 22 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds in his first game back for a while. And also, he got it done on the defensive end as well. 3 steals, 1 block. So, he was pretty good. And, he was kind of showed that, he's not too far away from the Kyrie that we're used to seeing. And I can't wait for him to get back to that form.
Exactly. Kyrie, man. Kyrie is a dog, bro. Like, Kyrie takes care of his body. He's a hooper. Like, unlike a lot of people that like go off on COVID protocols and things like that or whatever, like he doesn't need no time period to get ready. As soon as they call him up, he's ready to go. I love watching the Nets more when Kyrie's on the floor. I feel like offense flows better. Like, shout out to Patty Mills too and all that. But I like watching Kyrie, James Harden, KD on the floor going crazy. One of the best big threes, out there right now. We're going to touch on that a little bit later. But, just watching them do their thing when he's on the floor, it's a different energy. You know what I mean?
Levitate like Michael Jackson. Come on now. Let's give him his credit.
Did you just compare Kyrie Irving to Michael Jackson?
Bro, you know how hard it is for him to do what he did with in the gym when he was doing his pre-workout stretches. This man didn't touch the ground. He like levitated on his tippy toes. Forward, body full vertical, no bends, no nothing, just and then backward, and then left, and then right. You know what I mean? This man. Yes, all that good stuff. Left, right, up, north, south, east, west, all that good stuff. Shout out Orlando Brown. But I think the man's levitating like Michael Jackson. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but go ahead.
But no, I think I pretty much got all I got to say out, man. Like I said, but I do want to touch on like what's the situation with him at home? Because I heard something, I don't know if it's true. Like they said that they have to the Nets have to pay like a fee every time he plays is it a home game or just games in general? I'm not sure like how that works. Did y'all hear anything about that?
So apparently, ESPN, it was the reporter. Oh my gosh, the reporter. Relax. But it was the reporter. I don't know her name, but
shout out to you,
like Bugs Bunny, with the hard eyes, looking at Lola Bunny, like, that's what I get. But I think so. New York. So it says the Nets will have to pay for him to play. Possibly, that's an option. And if they want Kyrie back full time, so that'll be an option. So I believe the numbers. I don't know about the third game numbers, but I know the rest of the numbers are right. So the first game that he plays at home without approval would be a warning. The second game he plays at home without approval would be $1,000, a fine to the Nets. The third game would be $2,000 fine to the Nets. And then the fourth game would be $5,000 to the Nets. And that keeps going. So the most they would play, the most they would pay for Kyrie to keep playing would be $5,000 each home game.
So then it starts over after the 5 or it goes up after that?
No, it doesn't start over after 5. It just stays at 5. So it's his fourth game. It's Kyrie's fourth game. They fine the Nets $5,000. So the Nets keep getting fined $5,000 for Kyrie to play at home.
I mean, at that point,
that's chump change, bro. Like for a team that's worth probably over $1 billion or close to $1 billion, that's chump change.
But at the same time, I literally feel that it's chump change to them. But if Kyrie wants to play, I feel like $5,000 should be taken out for each game that he plays. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's choosing to not get vaccinated. He's choosing, like I said, I'm not on no pro or negative, like, don't get vaccinated. I'm not on that. I'm just saying from the facts. The NBA has rules. He's denying to get vaccinated. So I feel that if he wants to play, if they want him to play, they should take out however much the fee is per game that like he wants to play. Like let's say like it's $5,000. They take out 5,000 for whatever he's supposed to make for that game, and then like just keep it. He's not gonna miss it. But I feel like they shouldn't take it out their pocket directly to have him play. It should be taken out of his.
No, they should pay. Bro, he doesn't want to get vaccinated. That's his human right. They ain't no. The Supreme Court just blocked something to what I don't know what it was. It was like something where I think it was like stopping businesses from forcing vaccines on their employees.
Yeah.
Like, so he should not have to pay just because he doesn't want to get vaccinated. He should, if he has to get tested, get a free rapid test every day, or so be it, do that. Then he should, okay, that's fine. But like, you don't gotta like force him to inject something in his body that he doesn't trust. You know what I mean?
Exactly. To your point, like I said, he's choosing not to get it. So if he doesn't get it, then he should have to pay for that. Like I said, like it's not right, but if that's the rules, then he should have to abide by it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because like, yes, this is his whole right. You don't have to, if you don't want to get vaccinated, you shouldn't have to. You know what I'm saying? But this is your career, it's your job, and jobs have rules and protocols. So like you gotta do what you gotta do. And if that means like, them ducking $5,000 each game so you can play, then I mean that's what they gotta do. And you gotta do it because you chose not to get vaccinated and you decided to sign on with the league. So there's stuff that comes with both of those. So Orlando, you off quiet.
I like what you said about Kyrie would pay that fine, because if Kyrie's a hooper, that's like chump change for Kyrie just for him to play the game that he loves.
For sure.
At the same time, I just think the New York is stupid for having that he can't play.
Oh,
because like
careful now. No,
think about it. It's a rule. Basically saying, right, if you don't live in New York, you could come here, play a game, potentially have COVID and affect people, but because you're living in New York, you can't play because you live here. What's the point of letting other people come in who are not vaccinated and then penalizing your own people who live in that state?
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense.
New York, I heard, is crazy. Like, the restrictions up there, like to go, I heard even to go to stores, like you gotta show your card.
Certain stores.
Yeah, like it's getting crazy up there. But I agree though.
They do have like 73,000 cases a year.
And that's kind of like what was one of my problems with like the whole like NBA. And that's kind of like one of the loopholes I kind of saw within that rule of like unvaccinated players can't play. It's because you're allowing other players to, because like anybody could catch COVID, vaccinated or unvaccinated. So it's like, even like the Knicks, they just played the Mavs a couple of days ago. Like, imagine if one of the Mavs players, knock on wood, had COVID. Like, what can you do about that? Whose fault is that? I mean, it's COVID. You're gonna either catch it. It's not like impossible to catch it. So it's not an impossibility. So I think with Kyrie, it's just, I don't know. I feel like he's getting a little extra, just unnecessary treatment. He should have been playing, if you ask me. It shouldn't have been his first game like last week.
It's New York.
Okay.
Using Kyrie as an example for the citizens to get vaccinated.
Oh, heck yeah. He's what they call it? Like a test dummy, but like to make him look a full lot example. He's an example, yes, but like that's another word. It's a term for it, but I forgot what it was. But yeah,
black sheep. No,
maybe black sheep.
Nah.
Well, that's the second racist thing you've said so far on this episode. You gotta relax. 3 strikes, you're out.
Hey,
3 strikes, the Zoom's over. All right. But wow. No relation. I think yes, I think they did use Kyrie as an example. Did it work? Well, if he stands on his principles and doesn't get vaccinated, yes. And I feel like that's what he will continue to do, and I don't think he's gonna fold. Hey, maybe if he feels comfortable with the vegan vaccine, hey, maybe then I guess the NBA will feel like they won some sort of way. But no, it did not work. And that just shows to you, Kyrie, but also, you know, his parents, you know, the kind of man that they raised and the principles that instill with him, and showing him, like, you know, to stand on your principles, stand your ground. Like, don't feel like you gotta, you know, do what everybody else is doing. If you don't feel like it's right for you, then don't do it. Really.
Exactly. To your point, man, Kyrie is showing everybody he's a leader, bro. Like, before it started, there was a decent sized list of anti-vax NBA players. And slowly but surely, those guys were falling off. Andrew Wiggins being one of them. I thought he was gonna hold out, but you know, he
Bro.
said, nah, I'm gonna just go ahead and get it. But Kyrie said, no, I'm standing on my principles. I'm standing on what I believe in. And he's showing them that, you know, with his talent, with his, like, you know, what he brings to the table, he does have a bit of leverage to do that. You know what I mean? And if you stand for something, you should, no matter what the penalty is, you should stand firm. You know what I mean? And I respect that.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, they're using Kyrie as an example because he is such a big media presence. And, you know, you have a lot of people who look up to Kyrie.
For sure.
So I guess, you know, because people look up to him, you want to use him as an example and take, like, the conditions to an extreme. Because if it's a normal person, I don't think they would go this far. But because it's Kyrie, a lot of people look up to him. I think they're trying to use him for an example for that reason.
For sure. I agree. You know what I mean? And to McDougal, to Pearson, to anybody else that makes textbooks, if Kyrie Irving is not in the COVID chapter, that's a problem. That is a big problem. I don't care. He has to be in the chapter. He has to be in the COVID chapter.
I don't want to be in a COVID chapter too.
This man, bro, what do you? What are you gonna be doing? Well, you gonna?
I don't know.
I mean,
I know
do this.
I already planned it for when I have kids. I'm gonna tell them I went through a whole pandemic, and your father was fighting zombies out here, and, you know, he survived. So, you know, you should look up to your father because he went through a lot. You know, your grandparents might have traveled through, you know, snow woods to get to school, but I fought a pandemic.
Because of snow woods, what? That's crazy. But yeah, you know, it's just shout out Kyrie though, for sure. I mean, standing his ground, being a leader. You know,
we need more people like that.
Kyrie or Draymond. Kyrie for president of NBPA, Draymond vice president. You know what I mean? Of the MVP of the National Players Association. I mean,
Draymond's more realistic, bro. They would never let a rebel like Kyrie run that.
Okay, fine. Draymond president, Kyrie vice president.
There you go.
Wasn't Kyrie in a position already?
Was he?
I think he was in a position, and then he just went off. Right?
Probably,
I'm confusing him with somebody else.
they probably said he had to be vaccinated.
Could be it.
Never know. But it's crazy. I want to touch on that just a little bit, but not too much. Okay. So, like, think about it. Like you said, I want to touch off your question. So your question was, do you think they were trying to use Kyrie to, I guess, to make a fool of him for not getting vaccinated and stuff? So what do you think, like, the people who were trying to blackball him, the people who were trying to, you know, make him look like trying to make a fool out of him and turn him into an example of, you know, of like him getting the vaccine, but it not working. Like, what do you think they do to try to, like, what do you think, how do you think they feel? Or like, what do you think they do when it doesn't work? You know what I mean? So like so your plan was, hey, let's make a fool out of Kyrie. Let's turn him into a spokesperson to, you know, to try to make him seem like the bad guy, but that didn't work. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you think they do to try to make him what do you think they do when it doesn't work, when that plan didn't work? I think they still keep going at it, or do you think they just drop it?
I mean, go ahead.
Cheap or expandable, I guess. You move from Kyrie to somebody else in their mind, then work with Kyrie or will pressure somebody else who, you know, has a weaker mindset than he does. So.
Interesting.
See, I would agree. I was thinking that same thing, which is why I was hesitant to like answer at first. But all of the NBA figureheads are all, for the most part, vaccinated. So there's not really, Kyrie's literally the only one left. That's why went so hard on him. They're like, all right, since you want to be this hero, you want to be this, like, you want to go against the grain guy, cool, we're gonna put pressure on you. We're gonna make sure that we're gonna make an example out of you. We're gonna, like, not only make you change your stance on this vaccine and get vaccinated, but we're gonna show people what happens when you go against the law. Like, we're gonna show people, and not even just people, like, not just NBA, just people in general, because like you touched on earlier, like, they were trying to make it to where, oh, if you want to go to work, if you want to get a job, you gotta get vaccinated type thing. And there are people that are thinking, like, that's not fair, that's not right. So, like, they're gonna use a star, like somebody with Kyrie's platform, to try to make an example out of what happens when you go against us, like when you go against everyone. You know what I mean? So that's
so. But Kyrie's back playing. That's all that matters right now. Kyrie is playing. He's at the top of his game. You know, as always, Kyrie, James Harden, and KD, an amazing trio out here performing. And I'm just glad we have them all back.
Yes, sir. Now, I think this was your question. You want to touch on this about what was the question you wanted to touch on about Kyrie, Harden, and KD?
Oh, are they one of the greatest big threes of all time?
Well, here's the way I look at it, right? I don't think currently they are. I think they have the potential to be.
Okay.
I think when you think of big threes, you think of like the Showtime Lakers. You think of, that Miami Heat, LeBron, Wade, Bosh were all in their primes and then they decided to group up together. I think that's what you think of. And, they've won championships together, those big three. They spent a lot of time together. This big three right now, they're so early in their career. They're not established yet in my eyes. They haven't won a chip yet. They've barely played a few games together. There's always somebody injured or like Kyrie couldn't play games. So I think they have the potential to be it, but right now, not at the moment.
Okay. Now, so you say one of the greatest, right? Mm-hmm. So like, what does that mean exactly? Is that like top 5 or are they the greatest?
I want to say, like, I'm not even going to say top 5 because I can name like 10 big threes that are like off the rip. You know what I mean? Okay. So I would say like top 10, you know what I mean? Because
top 10.
Granted, like I said, they came together during weird times. I honestly feel that, if they were around during normal flows, 72 game, no COVID, no bubble, no none of that, if they were just had a whole full season together,
right,
they will rack up wins, they'll rack up championships, all that, because this is undeniable talent right there. That's Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden. Like, you can't beat that. But then, like I said, like, that's also putting them in company with big threes like LeBron, Bosh, Wade, even Jordan, Rodman, Pippen, Tim Duncan, Manu, Tony Parker. You know what I'm saying? Like, people like that. And I feel like, if they had that time and that that time, they would be able to like be in company with guys like that.
All right. So I'm gonna say, are they the greatest?
No.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're the greatest. Now, like Orlando said, could they be the greatest? Of course they could. They have the potential to be. Just like Bobo has the potential to be a great player, but it's about him actually doing it. You know what I mean? So, but I do think all time, I think they're the most skilled big three of all time. Ooh. If we're talking like pure basketball skill, playing basketball, like 3 dudes that you want to go take the hoop, I would take Kyrie, KD, and Harden over anybody.
So you would take Kyrie.
Go ahead.
So you would take Kyrie, James Harden, and KD over in their prime.
Yes, sir.
Kareem and James Worthy.
Yes, sir. I would. Now, but see, I'm glad you said that because I was thinking the greatest big three of all time, I would probably have to go with now if we're talking most complete, like you said, greatest big three. So I'm thinking like most complete big three. So I'll probably have to go with, maybe a Magic, Worthy, or Kareem. But I think KD and Harden and Irvin are one of the most skilled big threes of all time. Because when you think about it, it's like, what do they talk about Harden? They consider him one of the greatest scorers of all time. You know, the way he just puts the ball in the bucket. And in basketball, like, yeah, it's about defense. Yeah, it's about winning championships. Yeah, it's about winning games. But when you take it to the park, fuck all that winning games and all that championship. It's all about, let's first to 21, first person to 21, first team to 21 wins the game. So if I want to go to 21, if I want to win the game, give me the most skilled players. KD, 7-foot guard, 7 foot, just he could do it all. You know, Kyrie, one of the greatest ball handlers the game has seen. You know, and then Harden, and they already talk about Harden, one of the greatest scorers the game has ever seen. You know, so I think skill wise, they're the GOATs. They're the greatest.
I'm gonna just be biased and disagree and say that Truth, KG, and Ray Allen will scrub them.
Oh my god!
You know what I'm saying? Just off of bias.
You believe that? Do you honestly believe that? I was waiting for him to say that. I was just waiting for him to say that.
Do you honestly believe that?
But I'm just gonna put that out there for the record. You know what I'm saying?
Man, he might as well have said Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum. Man,
Hey, bro, they can probably get him some buckets too now. Jason Tatum will take the whole.
God. What? Or KD? Jason Tatum versus KD?
Jason Tatum will give KD buckets. Knock it off.
My lord! Do you believe that?
Yes, I do.
All right. Just because Jason Tatum trained with Kobe, that don't make him Kobe, okay?
Hey, listen, bro. When you get the stamp of approval from LeBron James and Kobe Bryant, yeah, you that guy.
Interesting. So, yeah, I think they're the most skilled of all time, though. Now, greatest, I would have to probably go with Kareem and then Magic in them, because, like, I think if we're talking NBA game, like if you're playing an NBA game, like which three would you rather have? I would probably rather have them, either them three or maybe Rodman and Pippen and and MJ. You know what I mean? But
you just forget MJ.
I'm only human. Okay.
Yo, we're on the topic. I don't mean to cut you off. Thinking about big threes. KD's been a part of a couple great big threes. Which one do you think was his most dominant? Now we have him, Westbrook, and Harden. We got Steph, KD, and Clay, and then you got his one with. Then you got Kyrie, James, and him. So which one do you think was like his most like dominant one?
All right, you could trash the OKC one for sure. But no, you go.
I go first. Curry, Clay, KD. Just because when KD went there, everybody said it was unfair. Like it was at a point in basketball where we thought we're like, there's no point in watching anymore because the Warriors are going to win at that point. So I think they just win just because of that alone.
So we're talking about an NBA game or just park or just like regular park?
Talking in general. Like if you want to take it to whatever reason, sure.
In general, okay. Like I said, if I'm taking three of them now outside of an NBA court to a random park, I want the most skilled players. So I'll take Harden, Irvin, and KD. Because
you think Harden can shoot on a double rim, bro?
No, bro, checking up those three on a team all together, you could check up Clay. Because like Clay, I mean he's the greatest shooter of all time. Don't get me wrong, but he's still kind of limited. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to expect K to like, yo, here, go get a bucket. You know, go get the game-winning bucket. You know what I mean? Or something like that. You know, now Curry, yes, you could do that. Kevin Durant, you could do that. I think that will only be the limitation of the Warriors' big three with KD, Clay, and Curry. With Harden, Irvin, and KD, you don't have a limitation because they all could go get their own bucket. They all could, put the ball on the floor and all that good stuff. So that'll be my reasoning. What about you?
I give you that. Wait, about me for what?
Your question, your answer to your own question.
Answer to my own question.
Yeah.
I asked you a question.
No, yo, this is our podcast, bro. This is our podcast, son.
Oh, as far as
you're co-host, all right? Just because you're a co-host, all right, don't mean you could talk to us any type of way, bro.
Okay, just when you all do the intro, you say I'm your co-host Jeremiah, I'm your co-host Orlando, and I'm a co-host today, so I have equal say so, right? Technically, know what I'm saying? Anyways, but question at hand. So, I think I'm gonna have to agree with Orlando. I think out of all three, I like when it was him and Clay and Steph. That was a cheat code. That was a cheat code in itself. Like, the fact that they vetoed, I still to this day I'm pissed off that they vetoed that Chris Paul trade to the Lakers, but let that happen. Like, like it
Chris
should,
Paul and Kobe.
That shouldn't even came to be. Like, if we're going off of those calls, like, oh, it's overpowered, like, it's not fair to everybody else. But that was a very overpowered Golden State team. I haven't seen a squad like that in a while since the Heat, the Bosh Wade, LeBron type of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think his Warriors big three is the most dominant.
Right. All right. Wait, but they all didn't. I'm curious on, because we were talking about the big threes and like is the Nets one of the greatest big threes? So y'all said no. Y'all didn't say they were the greatest. So who is y'all greatest big three then? I said mine's kind of. I mean, I said two, but like I gave a nummy. I'll probably take Magic and them. Because Kareem Skyhook is unguardable. Like, how do you guard that?
This
it's tough. I know it's tough. It's tough. I know.
It's hard. Like,
I want to say the Lakers, but at the same time, in like the 3 years that Curry, Clay, and KD were together, they were unbeatable until they all got injured.
But
and then the Showtime Lakers, they were technically beatable.
Not okay, yes, but would Clay, Curry, and KD be unbeatable in all eras, though? I mean, that's hard to tell. I know that's a terrible question.
Yeah,
that's a terrible question, but like, just try your best. Knowing all the basketball you've seen, knowing all the players you know, like, would they be unedible?
Definitely going Showtime Lakers. Okay. Definitely. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel that Magic, Kareem, and James's game can translate through all the eras, honestly, especially today's game. Like, even if Jordan, Rodman, and Pippen, today's game in their prime, destroy. Yeah. But Showtime Lakers, definitely. I feel just to answer, go off of your statement, man. Between all the Showtime Lakers, definitely.
Okay. All right. I mess with it.
Yeah, I think when we look at it in all eras, it would be the Showtime Lakers, just because Curry would probably get cooked just because he's not the greatest defender.
Yeah, right.
So they would just attack Curry over and over again.
For sure. All right.
Magic and Curry.
I like that. I like that.
Crazy.
That's fire.
All right. Next topic.
All right, I'm loving this conversation. It's great.
Trailblazers.
Great content.
The Trailblazers have some situations going on over there.
Sure.
We're gonna start first off with the injuries to their two biggest players. Dame is currently out injured, and they said he was planning to get surgery in the near future, quote unquote, to address a lingering abdominal injury. And they say the procedure isn't expected to be season injured ending, but it's still to be determined, which is that I feel like that's basically like the Zion treatment. Zion's going to be back. And then when it's that time, he never came back. So I think it's the same. And then CJ's been out. And then I think he's about to come back, but he's been out for a minute.
It's coming back Monday.
Mm-hmm. So the Trailblazers are right now, real struggling. Their stars are out. They're nowhere near the playoffs, the play-in at this point. So
nowhere near.
How do you feel the Trailblazers are going to continue from here?
Let's let our guest co-host get this one first.
Personally, just seeing where they're placed at in standing, they're 11th seed right now. They're not in the they're not in the playoff picture at all. It wouldn't make sense for them to rush Dame back to get to 9th seed, like, and still not make the playoffs. So I don't think they're gonna like really rush Dame back. Dame's probably done for the season. I think personally he's done for the season. Anthony Simons is gonna take the helms, him and CJ. That's Anthony Simons has been showing that he can actually handle the load. Since Dame took his departure for his injury, like, he's really been showing that he's that guy. He can give you buckets, he can lead the team. So I'm confident that they're gonna just keep it with Anthony and CJ. I'm real interested to see how their dynamic is gonna be on the court. But yeah, that's how I feel that they're gonna go moving forward. Because the season is kind of, I mean, even though we're in the middle of the season, I kind of feel like, you know, they are where they're gonna be. Like they're not gonna be like a contender for the playoffs. So there's no point in rushing Dame back or expecting anything miraculous from the Trailblazers. They're just trying to get through the season at this point. So yeah, I think Anthony's gonna just take the helm at PG for the rest of the season.
So I think I agree with all that. I'm glad you shouted out Anthony Simons. You know, another Florida boy. You know, got another Florida boy. You know, one of the greatest players to come out of Florida.
Bro, like,
huh? What you said?
Stop playing.
Hooper, Florida got some hoopers, bro. Don't sleep. You know, Embiid, you know, Grayson Allen, you know, no, we got a couple, you know what I mean? But Dwayne Bacon, you know what I mean? Yes, all of them. But I think like you said, and Freddie Simons, he's been playing tremendously. Ever since Dame went out with his ab injury, and then now he's gonna be out for longer with ab surgery. You know, since he became a starter, you know, he's been averaging 27 points a game, 6 assists, and then he's been incredibly efficient. You know, 51% from the field, 44% from three, and then also, you know, he's an amazing shooter. You know, he makes his free throws. He's shooting over 90% from three ever since he, you know, got into the starting lineup. So now it's only 5 games, yeah, but you get a sample size of what he can do and his potential. You know, so I think like you said, you know, they'll give him the reins and he'll be able to, you know, show even more of what he can do. And, you know, even like his old coach said he's literally Trae Young with a 35 or 40-inch vertical. So that says a lot, you know, about his game. And he's kind of showing that, you know, he's giving us a small sample size of what he can do, you know, even without Dame. So I think that'll be interesting to see moving forward. And it'll be cool to see, you know, if maybe this is a lineup that the Trailblazers consider long-term, because, you know, they've always fallen short with, you know, Dame and CJ, you know, within the playoffs. You know, they've never been able to, you know, get past that hump that they have always been hit by. So I think, you know, maybe we'll see how well this backcourt works with McCollum and Simons. And also, you know, we'll see if they'll be able to keep their playing spot. You know, they're 11th right now. So we'll see if they'll, with this backcourt, if they'll be able to keep that playing spot, or if they actually need Dame for playoff success.
So I see this as a lost season. I just don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, like, at all.
Okay.
I think there's a few teams who are ahead of them and are a little bit better than them right now in the Western Conference. But one thing that I'm always saying is that the Trailblazers are always stuck in mediocrity. And that if you're in the NBA, if you're a team that's always stuck in mediocrity, it's time to blow it up. And I've always said this multiple times on the podcast, that the Trailblazers should just blow up the whole team. Trade Dame, trade CJ. You see that Anthony Simons is a good cornerstone for you to build off of. But do you guys think that now, will this team run back the same team next season with the excuse of, we can make it to the playoffs, we were just injured that one season, we didn't make it? Or will they finally decide to blow it up?
Or we need a new coach.
They got a new coach.
Or we need a new coach, you know. Or our coach didn't have enough time to, you know, build up in one season. I think, so you're saying, should they blow it up?
Well, will they blow it up?
Or
will they use the injury excuse to keep going with the same squad?
Will they blow it up? Now, I think they will blow it up. Reason being, Dame wants to be the highest paid player in the league. I think I don't remember the exact number. It was close to 40 or 50 mil.
It's definitely.
Yeah, 50 mil a year. He wants to make that. And I don't feel that the Trailblazers are comfortable with giving him that number. Reason being, if they were, I think they would have did it by now. Now, yeah, he got injured with his abs and everything. He had ab surgery. So maybe they didn't want to trust it with, you know, his injury and everything. But I mean, it's still it's Damian Lillard. So even if, you know, he's going to be out for a minute with surgery, you would still give him that if you fully trusted him. So I think reason being, I don't think they keep it. I think they just blow it all up.
Yeah, to touch on your point, I think they're gonna blow it up, especially with Anthony Simons playing the way that he is. Him his game is showing not only that he can take the helms, but it's showing them the direction that they need to go as a team. Like he's showing them that they're young, that these young guys they need to start focusing on their young guys, their young talent, and acquiring young talent for the future. Because Dame, tremendous player, but he gets them only so far, and then and they never get to the finals. Like, and then it's gonna keep going like that. And me personally, I wouldn't pay nobody $50 million to keep taking me to the same point and not bringing me no rings, because those paychecks are investments. They're not just like, yeah, they are. You're paying whatever, but those are investments, and I want my
Talk about it.
I want my return on my investment. Shout out to all my business students. Y'all know that ROI and all that. Y'all know what that means. You dig? I want my return on my investment. You know what I'm saying? And I'm paying you $50 million a year. I expect rings. And Dame, just him and CJ alone, they can't deliver that. You know what I mean? And I feel like it would be in their best interest to move him, get some assets, and just start building. And like Orlando touched on earlier, Anthony Simons is a great cornerstone. The fact that he's their point guard of the future in my opinion. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like Anthony Simons. Florida boy, IMG Academy. Orlando. I think he's from out of Orlando. I think he's definitely something to build on. Now, y'all talked about CJ and Dame. So do they get rid of Nurkic as well? Like, who else do they get rid of, in your opinion?
The whole team. The whole team. Keep Anthony Simons. See if you could.
So you keep Nazir Little as well?
Yeah, see if you could, give him some playing time, revive what he was.
Okay.
And go young. Trade everybody away. That's me.
I ain't gonna lie. Anthony Simons, he could jump out the gym too. I think he had one of the highest verticals in his combine too. So the athleticism is there. The shooting is there. It's just about, channeling. Sound
it out.
Channeling it. Channeling it. All in one package.
Wait, what?
His athleticism and his shooting and his skill set were in regards to shooting and shot creating and playmaking. What'd you hear, fucking weirdo?
I heard a lot. I heard. You know what? Pause. I'm not even about to walk into that. I'm not even about to walk into that.
Let's keep it PG, sir. I don't know what kind of sick thoughts you got going on over there.
Oh,
but you gotta relax. You gotta relax.
Hey, you relax, sir. Okay, I'm.
You. Let me stop.
You dig what I'm saying, bro?
For sure.
PG-13.
For sure.
Okay, next topic. Next topic. Kevin Porter Jr.
Yes, sir.
That
announcer was crazy.
Bro,
so, talk about it.
I do some digging into this.
Okay.
And found out what it stemmed from. I was like, yo, that was hella out of pocket, sir. Like, so apparently the announcer was like, Kevin Porter Jr., quote unquote, Kevin Porter Jr., like his dad, pulled that trigger at the right time. Me, what the fuck does that mean? So I was like, yo, let me process, because at first what I thought was, I was like, is he referring to his dad pulling the trigger and his mom and them giving birth to Kevin type of thing? I'm like, wait. And I was like, wait, nah, that couldn't be it. That because why are people tripping? So I looked into it. Kevin Porter Jr.'s dad was locked up for manslaughter. Mm-hmm. So he was like, pulled the trigger, referring to his dad shooting someone. And I'm like, yo, what made you think that was okay in any type of capacity?
Yeah, I don't know. Bro was wilding. And then he tried to make some weak excuse talking about, I was talking about a former Wizards player. Nah, man.
What?
You fucked up. That kind of remind me of that whole Russell Westbrook thing with the whole, when bro was like, Russell Westbrook is playing out of his cotton picking mind. It's like, what? And then he tried to brush it up. I forgot. It was some BS he said. I was like, stop. So even same with this situation, he tried to cover it up, but nah. And I don't like how situations like this get like brushed under the rug. And it's like I don't feel like no true like consequences are really paid towards the reporters that like say these toward actions towards Black players or any player, you know what I mean? But they're mostly done towards Black players. So I think, you know, something's gotta be done. I don't know whether they lose their job or, you know, pay without 2 months or 3 months, whatever, something, because it seems to be happening too often, and it's like nothing's really done. So it's like they feel that they can do it either way.
Exactly. Honestly, I feel like the NBA needs to start treating the announcers like they treat the referees and like they treat the players. If the referee does something out of pocket, they get fined. Players do something out of pocket, they get fined. Announcers, people don't really like pay too much attention to them because, like, you know, like they just call the game or whatever, whoop-de-whoop. So the NBA doesn't really like have set protocols for them, you know, if they do something out of line. And that's not cool. Like for comments like you said with the Russell Westbrook thing, even with the Kevin Porter Jr., that announcer should be suspended. Find at the least, because that's disrespectful. Like that was super disrespectful. Like, you know, like people know his dad's story in the situation. That was super uncalled for. Like even if you claim or you were talking about a whatever Wizards player, which is total BS. Like I feel that announcers really need to start getting held accountable for their actions, because like you said, a lot of their stuff that they do gets brushed under the rug. Oh, this announcer said that, and then the next day people forget about it. No, like no punishment, no nothing. They need to get at least fined or suspended or something, because I'm not sure how much they get paid, but I'm pretty sure, you know, it's enough to where like y'all can like start enforcing these like high induced fines or whatever to like make them understand like, yo, you can't be just saying whatever you want. Like, yeah, you have this platform, but you can't just be saying whatever you want and doing whatever you want.
For sure.
I agree. I think announcers should be held to a much higher standard than they are right now. Because think about it, you have casuals who are watching the game and they're hearing these announcers say these things. What are they going to think about the game of basketball? And going even past that, you know, saying these racial stuff about people. Even announcers who are biased, like you'll turn into a game and then they'll just completely trash the other team.
Yeah.
Like think that their team is like the greatest thing ever created and that every team is trash.
Yeah.
And if you're an announcer, I would expect you to be educated on the game of basketball. For you to come up with that excuse of I thought his father was the former Kevin Porter player, like that just shows your lack of knowledge in the game of basketball. So if you lack that amount of knowledge, why are you an announcer right now?
Could you have an announcer voice? Like I don't know. I don't know. Hey, you'd be surprised. Sometimes that be what it is. Like it's just their voice. They don't gotta know nothing. It's like, yo, you sound good or you look good. So it's like, hey, you're the guy. You could learn all the basketball stuff later. Just as long as your voice sounds like you could project like an announcer. We could teach you basketball later type stuff.
It's terrible.
It's crazy.
That's terrible.
It's terrible.
And even if it was like that, at least, you know, do some research before each game.
Sure.
Don't just come.
It's your job.
Don't just come out saying anything.
It's your job. Like, come on. But yeah, I mean, I think they said
Oh no, I was just gonna say like I wouldn't say like, you know, that's your job thing, because there's a lot of NBA players out here, you know, it's their job to hoop and they're like hot trash. And your job but like you literally get paid to be in the gym, work on your game and perform, and you're trash, you know? And so like I mean, I guess it could be for the announcers, but I wouldn't think of that.
No. But yeah. And I think he tried to like reach out to Kevin Porter after the fact, and it was like, you know, and then he was like, yeah, he's been trying to get in reach with Kevin Porter. Yeah, he's been trying. Yeah, why would Kevin Porter want to talk to you?
Bro.
After you said all that crap, like what? But yeah, that was just terrible. We gotta do better.
Hold the announcers to a bigger standard.
Bigger standard. Yes.
Next topic. John Morant. He channeled his inner Westbrook. If you don't remember Westbrook in the bubble, he dunked and started trash talking to little kids on the sideline in the bubble. John Morant, you know, a little Warriors fan was out there like, oh my God, John Morant, and John Morant just stared him down. Like, why are you wearing a Warriors shirt right now? Come on.
Yeah, that's it. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. I ain't finna clap you up. I love the attitude. Now some may say, hey, it's not that serious. You could have clapped the kid up, while you're in the game. But nah, like if you got a certain attitude, if you got that dog in you, like nah, like I'm competing right now. I'm trying to beat this team, and I ain't finna clap you up like on no in front of the team. Like I think he'll probably like in his mind, he probably thinks like that's a sign of weakness, clapping up the other team. And then plus they had on a Curry. I don't did the kid have on a Curry jersey? Was it a Curry jersey?
He had on a Curry jersey. It was him and I don't know if that's his brother or his friend, whoever, but the kid next to him, they both had Curry.
So he's like, like you gotta Curry. I gotta compete against this guy. You know what I mean? So I ain't finna like, clap you up. Like, nah, I respect it. I respect what you did. I like it.
I see both ways, honestly. Like I said, like you said, I respect what he did, and I didn't really think too much of it. But of course, the internet, they blew it up, made it a big story. Oh my gosh, John Morant doesn't like kids. John Morant ignored these kids, and then somebody tried to spin it like, John Morant ignored them because they were two white kids, and I was just like
Please.
What? Come on, bro. The fact of the matter is, John Morant's a dog. John Morant's a competitor. So like he would have of course he would acknowledge them kids. Like John Morant, like a youngin himself. Like he wouldn't ignore them kids. He knows how it is. Like when you're at a game, you see your face, like one of like an athlete in your face, like, oh my gosh, like I want to dap you up, touch whatever. Like he would have done it. But his teammates are out there, he's on TV, like, and then like they're wearing Warriors jerseys. Like y'all ops right. Like, yeah, y'all kids, but y'all ops right now. Like, I can't, no, I'm not, like, I'm gonna just leave it alone. Like, and like, you just getting ignored. Like, maybe next time you decide to come to one of our games, you wear a Memphis Grizzlies John Morant jersey, and I might dap you up next time. But other than that, it wasn't nothing personal against him. It was just the fact that, he has a certain way that he carries himself on the court. And like, that's just what he is. That's the competitor in him, like, saying, like, nah, bro, like, they're wearing a Warriors jersey. You can't dap them up, even though I'm pretty sure he wanted to, but
I agree with that. I respect, they're fans of the opponent. You're not gonna dap them up. I don't understand why he decided to stare down at the little kid. That was something else. So I agree, not dapping them up. I don't know why, if you needed to do that, stare down on the little kids. But at least I think like the day after, John Morant was like, any kid who has an opposing player's jersey, bring it into the next game and I'll exchange it for a John Morant or a JJJ shirt.
For sure. I mean, that's I like that. I like that. You know what I mean? It's probably how I'm gonna be in a couple months at the Magic OKC game. Hopefully, Cole Anthony doesn't flip me a bird, but we'll see.
Yo, I need to get me a Jason Tatum jersey before that game.
It's crazy. Celtics aren't playing though.
Yeah, like what?
Who cares? The presence has to be felt in the arena. What?
I'm bad. I bet.
You look at a crowd, and the crowd it's all gonna be blue. Because your team is blue, my team is blue, and then the one green guy.
Get this guy out of here. Oh man.
Bench.
All right. Next topic. See, quick, minimal topic. Two GMs just got contract extension.
Yes, sir.
Cleveland Cavaliers general manager has agreed to a contract extension through the 27 through 28 season, and the Magic extended their president and GM through the 25-26 seasons.
Yes, sir. I think this is much. Well, we'll start with Cavs. Kobe Altman. I think he has done a tremendous job with the Cavs. I've mostly thought of Cavs, non-playoff teams, just they'll not make the playoff. Like I could count on the Cavs not to make the playoffs this year. But this year is different. They're in playoff contention. They're within, top 6, I believe. Yeah, they're number 6 in seed in the East right now. So they're definitely in playoff contention. And the signings that they've had, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, drafting Evan Mobley, even Lloyd drafted Lloyd Markkinen, even Ricky Rubio. He was playing amazing basketball before his ACL injury. Yeah, that was a tough, pill to swallow. But and then to get Rondo, in a trade to replace that kind of veteran presence, you gotta reward GMs for making for their activity, but their winning activity. Doing things that create a winning culture.
Yeah. Definitely shout out to the Cavs. Shout out to Dan Gilbert, man. They made that was very smart and well deserved for Kobe Altman. A lot of people are referring to this year as the turnaround season for the Cavs, man. They're in playoff contention, 6 overall right now. They're about to potentially make the playoffs for the first time since 2018, man. And that was all due to their strategy, their acquisitions, things like that, and their play as of late. As far as Orlando, yeah. That I don't understand that at all. Yeah, they're 8-35, but you give this man actually I do know why they signed him. I didn't want to put it out there or whatever, but they didn't sign him because I turned the job down. Okay, I turned the GM job down. I met with them with my associate Mikey. Shout out to my boy Mikey. We went and met with the Magic. They job, you know what I'm saying? And I said, no, I cannot attach my name and my brand to mediocrity and garbage. I refused to do so. So I had to turn it down. They had no one left. So they were like, you know what? Since nobody else wants this job, we might as well give it to John Hammond here. Yeah. You said what?
You sure it wasn't your do-rag?
Bro, they actually like the do-rag. What do you mean? They rag. I wore blue one that day, just, in case I was going to do a photo op or something, if everything went good, but it didn't. So, yeah. But I don't understand that extension. Honestly, in all jokes aside, I don't understand why they extended him. The Magic have been real stagnant. They haven't improved at all. So I'm not sure what what that was about, but maybe they know something I don't. I know Orlando's gonna feel.
Josh, my man. I know you can't be talking when your coach underperformed and you gave him a promotion to be the GM, to be the president, and you're still underperforming, my dude.
All right, Kawhi.
But no matter what the circumstances are, no matter who our coaches or what decision we make in our front office, we'll always be better than Orlando Magic. Period.
The Celtics are writing off most of the championships were in the 80s when y'all had 6 teams playing, bro.
How many do you all have?
Oh, yeah, we don't have as many as you because we're younger than you. All your championships were from the 60s when it was called ABA, not even NBA.
Oh, stop!
Excuses are tools of the incompetent. Nothingness.
Oh my god!
And Orlando Magic is a whole pile of nothingness. Trash.
That's crazy. Disrespect.
How you guys doing? You talk about Jason Tatum being the next greatest thing, and y'all ain't even top 4. I expected y'all to be top 3 at minimum.
How you guys?
11th. Y'all ain't even in the play-in, bro. Come on now.
Sir, you cannot. You guys are 8-35. Even if you have anything to say, you really have no place to speak.
You have a plan. There's a difference between having a plan and being mediocre. At least I could admit my team's ass because we're trying to get a good superstar. Your team is mediocre.
How long is it gonna take for you all to get it? So you might as well get Ben Simmons at this point, bro. How long
y'all
is it gonna?
Ben Simmons, bro. Y'all need that playmaking on that team.
Oh,
yeah, this is going. Okay, this is going nowhere. We all know.
All right, guys, let's relax.
All right. The Cavs.
Positivity.
The Cavs, he deserves his extension. In a league where everybody's going small, the man decided to go big and have a 7-foot small forward, and it's surprisingly been working. Because I didn't think that was gonna work, honestly, and it ended up working. So that just proves how great of a mind he has right there. And again, they're in the playoffs. We did not expect the Cavs to be in the playoffs. And he's finding a lot of gems. Darius Garland.
For sure.
I think he came off an injury when he got drafted.
Yep.
Yeah, you know how well he's doing right now.
True.
Sexton's out, so I guess now that choice was easier for him to make. That the team doesn't necessarily need Sexton as much anymore. For the Magic, I think this was a great extension, just because he's only been in with us for the last 2-3 years. Our OGM was a complete idiot.
Wow.
He's the one who traded Victor Oladipo away. I hate that man. He's a complete idiot. I don't know why he has a front office role.
We would still love to have you on for an interview, though.
No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. I don't care. I don't care. I do not want that man anywhere around me. He single-handedly ruined the whole entire franchise after Dwight Howard.
Wow.
He brought us completely down. But you know, our current GM and president, they came in. As soon as they came in, they brought us to the playoffs. Realized that the previous GM built the most mediocre roster ever created. So he was like, "Nah, we're gonna kick everybody out who was from the OGM and start a whole new reign." That's why we're tanking, trying to find the next player. So I'm glad we have an actual direction, and we're not that team who's gonna be stuck in mediocrity.
Sure.
Yeah, what direction is that exactly?
Find a player. Find a player. That's always how it is. Either the teams. I always believe the teams in the NBA should either be contending for a finals or tanking to find the next best player. If you're in mediocrity in that A play-in seed, just it's not worth it.
Sir, nobody in Orlando. Let's be real. Okay, the only way Orlando's gonna get some talent is they get lucky in the draft. No one wants to play in Orlando, bro. Like, you're not getting the KD, you're not getting a star talent type of caliber player. You guys are gonna get a draft. You're gonna get lucky in the draft, and hopefully that person is like the next coming of Michael Jordan. But other than that, yeah, you guys are gonna.
Josh, you live in Orlando. Why you hate Orlando so much? You live there.
Why? But they got my location right now. Okay. A lot of people don't know I'm here right now. Okay, but now.
No. We'll cut that out. We'll cut that out.
Shout out to you, Orlando. That was clean. I like how you did that.
We'll cut that out. That's crazy. All right, let's relax.
Next topic.
All right, moving on. Sticky is very icky. Sticky in what makes mommy upset.
You are no longer welcome on my couch. Future reference, bro.
As he drops the mic.
Okay, next topic. We'll just forget this topic real quick. All-star voting.
Yes, sir.
We have some all-star votings.
Another topic I'm excited about.
Go ahead, kick it off.
I mean, you said we have some all-star voting. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Continue.
We have all-star voting. Tell me some people who surprise you that they're up there, who you're surprised they're not up there.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
All right. So, surprise. Andrew Wiggins is as of right now, Andrew Wiggins is a starting small forward.
That's sick.
So if the voting ended today, Andrew Wiggins would start in the All-Star game this year.
I mean, this is bot activity. There's no way 1.8 million people voted for Andrew Wiggins to be a starting small.
I mean, hey, it's a lot of people in Cali, though.
The Warriors got a lot of bandwagon fans, bro.
And Canada's probably finally proud of him, bro. Like, for real. He's got Canada behind him, too. And Cali.
I like how you said finally proud of it.
Hey, Brady's winning, bro. So you got Andrew Wiggins. That surprised me a lot. So I hope LA Clippers fans stop playing and get Paul George into that starting lineup. Now, will he play? So he probably won't even play, so it probably won't even matter anyway, but just for him to be named the starter would just be cool. I like that Karl-Anthony Towns is top 8. Melo is top 7. See, that's the BS. That's the bot activity Josh was talking about. So I think like that had to be some bot activity. I think it's good to see Garland. Like you was touching on Garland with the last statement with Kobe Altman's extension. Garland's been playing amazing. I think the East front court is not really too surprising. Maybe the trade was kind of not really. Trade's been amazing. But I don't really see too much surprising in the East. I think KD and Giannis and Embiid, they deserve to start. And Tatum's close, but I don't think he'll get there. But no offense. But yeah, I think just the only thing that surprised me so far is probably Wiggins being a starter. That's a little It's crazy.
To your point, I'm gonna start with my surprises. Like I kind of earlier. Andrew Wiggins, that's some bot activity right there. He has literally 1.8 million votes. That's super surprising. He has more votes right now than Rudy Gobert, Pat, Paul George. Like I don't get it. But the other surprise, shout out to my boy DeMar DeRozan. He's up there right now in the voting. And Derrick Rose is in the running for some reason. He has like it's like he has 33. But to touch on your previous point about LaMelo, I need you to understand, right? Like one of the reasons people watch the All-Star game is entertainment. LaMelo Ball is one of the top 5 most entertaining players to watch in the league right now. Like every time he gets on the like last night, this man did a under the leg alley-oop assist to Miles Bridges in the middle of the like. Come on, it's not that's a regular game. Like I would love to see ball in an All-Star game, bro. So like they need to start putting that into consideration when they make these teams, because even though a lot of these people get buckets, they're boring. Like some of them are boring to watch. So like they need to like start like implementing those like exciting players. And I would love to see somebody like LaMelo Ball like in the All-Star game. Change the title of it, like LeVar said, to the Ball Star game. Get Lonzo and Melo in that game. To the Ball Star game. Shout out to that boy LeVar, man.
Never lost.
Never lost.
Never lost. Oh. Yes, sir.
All right. For me, y'all already touched on Wiggins. I don't know why Wiggins is there. The Warrior fans are a force to be reckoned with. If they have the power to put Andrew Wiggins at 3 right now, that's absolutely crazy. Carmelo being 7th. Laker fans are also up there because AD is 5th, and AD has been awful this season, in my opinion. Especially after every single play, he goes down the floor like Peter Griffin. My knee. And one thing that I did notice when I'm looking at these All-Star votings is how packed the guards are and how weak the front court necessarily is. I feel like this season we're gonna have a lot of snubs just because if we're gonna have the restrictions of front court and guards, there's a lot of guards who aren't gonna make it, and there's probably gonna be some mediocre like players like Andrew Wiggins who are gonna make the All-Star game just because he's a front court player, and many guards are gonna be not make it. And on that same topic of guards, why is DeMar DeRozan a guard when this man has been playing forward for the Spurs and for the Bulls, and the NBA just decided to classify him as a guard for some reason?
But see, that's the same thing I said about James Harden, though, because they people starting to consider James Harden a point guard, but really, he's, in my opinion, he's a shooting guard. So I think that's what I mean. I think just because a player gets played, that's why I agree with the voting. Just because a player plays at a certain position to help their team win, I don't think that should necessarily be the position that they consider. Because in Toronto, he was a 2-guard in Toronto. Him and Lowry in the backcourt. You know what I mean? So I think they just have him listed at his natural position, in my opinion.
In my opinion, now going off what you said,
Mm-hmm.
He played the 2-guard in Toronto, and obviously that didn't work. So obviously the 2-guard is not the best position for DeMar. It's small forward and at times power forward.
For sure.
And the biggest thing for me is that he's classified as a guard. So because he's going in as a guard, that's taking away from other guards being there when you could classify him as a front court player, and then a mediocre player won't get in there.
I mean, but then if he was to be categorized as a forward, then I think you would have probably Embiid would probably not make it then, most likely, with how the voting looks right now, and then you would have Trey and Zach LaVine or Trey and Harden as your backcourt.
So that they do this just because they want DeMar DeRozan to start with the rest of the 3 front court?
Maybe.
Because the starting front court for the East is strong.
Very strong.
The bench is something else.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably... Nah, I think they just put him as... They think he's a guard, and he is a guard. I think he just put him as natural. I see him as a 2-guard. I think his natural position is a 2-guard.
I think he plays better as the forward.
Yeah.
Like
But
I
we'll
said,
see.
DeMar DeRozan is definitely starting my.
So, who do y'all think will make their first All-Star game this year? Who's going to be a first-time All-Star?
First time All-Star.
Good. I could throw some names. So you got Melo Ball's a possibility. Fred VanVleet's a possibility. Darius Garland's a possibility. It's a lot of dudes out there. You know, Anthony Edwards is a possibility. You know, it's just a couple names to throw out.
I would love to see my boy Anthony Edwards in the All-Star game because, like I touched on earlier, entertainment. That man will put any and everybody. No, I will put. I'm not even gonna like sugarcoat this. This man here will put every player listed on both the East and the West on a poster. I don't care who it is, LeBron, Giannis, whoever. If you in front of him, he will put you on a poster. I would love to see Anthony Edwards on the make the here, but I don't think it's gonna. Well, actually, it could happen. So yeah, I'm gonna go Anthony Edwards for my vote. Just looking off of the roster because it's people in front of him like Klay Thompson, who is. I understand why people are voting, but I don't think he's gonna like, get it. James in front of him, he's hurt. Donovan Mitchell is kind of he can catch Donovan Mitchell. He can catch Donnie Mitchell. So yeah, I think Anthony Edwards or LaMelo Ball definitely.
Okay.
So I think Edwards. What about you?
All right. So you said Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball. I want to throw in there Fred VanVleet and Darius Garland.
For sure.
And now my one thing that kind of scares me a bit is again their guards. There's a lot of guards who can make it. So if we're looking outside of the guards, someone like Jared Allen can come out here and make it just because he's on the front court and there's more space. There's more players to be on the front court compared to guards.
Okay. Yeah, I think Freddie VanVleet, the way he's been playing and leading the Raptors, I think you have to play him. I mean, you have to put him in as a reserve. LaMelo Ball, I think we'll get some strong consideration for a reserve spot. You know, I got to see how. Well, yeah, because then you'll have Zach LaVine and I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know if there's a restriction to how many of each position there has to be. You know what I mean? Or is it just like best available? Yeah. So if not, then because it'll be tough, because you got LaVine and Harden that's going to be in already. So then I'll probably say LaMelo and Fred VanVleet probably going to be first-time All-Stars. And then Darius Garland is probably going to be a snub, but like it's just because it's so much talent, in the East.
It was a great way to end.
Great way to end.
I think on a positive note, first-time All-Stars.
First-time All-Stars, you know what I mean? We appreciate you, Josh McKenzie, for coming on as our first guest co-host. How do you feel? What was your experience like? Let the people know.
Yo, in all honesty, I appreciate you guys for inviting me. I'm a big fan of the show, and I'm not just saying that. Like, I really am a big fan of this platform, the show, everything you guys do. This was mad fun. I hope everybody enjoys it. Touched on some great topics. Please continue to support these guys, man, and just use them as a lesson, man. If you have an idea, if you got a vision, just go for it. Even if it's moving slow, you know what I'm saying? Like, just keep grinding. Nothing good comes quick. Nothing good comes easy. And these guys are the epitome of slow grind. You know what I mean? Like, we're starting here, but we're going to end up here. Like, we're going to end up at the top. This platform is going to go crazy. Like, they're going to be on TV one of these days. And I'm saying it first. You know what I'm saying? Don't come on as EP and we're gonna go crazy. We're gonna do numbers. But no, shout out to the ONJ podcast. Shout out to Orlando, Jeremiah, everybody out here that's listening and watching. Subscribe to all the platforms, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Run up that YouTube too, because that blog that I'm featured in that blog. All right, that blog was lit. That blog was lit. All right, like y'all need to run up them numbers. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Twitch coming soon. We just got 2K22, so I'm gonna be on that bit with that. We gonna go crazy. All this stuff 2022. I'm excited to see what the OJ podcast got to offer, man. I'm signing off.
For sure. Man, we gotta say
he said the whole outro, bro.
You gotta say no Instagram or nothing, man. That's crazy. But yeah, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. You know, like you said, subscribe to all the social medias, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. You know, give us 5-star ratings on, all the podcast platforms if you are able to rate us at all, and just continue to, rock with us.
We appreciate y'all. We out.
We out.
Wait, before we go, I got to bring back Jeremiah's old outro. Safe sex and paychecks, you dig?
On vibes. Gang, gang. Gang, gang.